Well, hello, my little rays of sunshine. How are you all doing out there today? I'm Michelle the Introvert, and today I can happily say that I am in a very, very special place, and I'm excited to show you. This place is so special. It's a place where music lessons are taught. It's a place where I learn how to play the ukulele. It's also a place where my daughter learns how to play the guitar. But there are other reasons besides that make the music room so very special. Come on with me, my friends, so you can find out. Frankie boy.
He just had his half birthday. He's 19 and a half now.
Frankie.
Oh no, life is hard for you. It's all that eating and sleeping.
Frankie. He's a good boy,
He's
isn't
a
he, Josh?
good boy, yeah. He's a charmer.
He's a celebrity too, isn't he?
He is. Hi, I'm Dave Durkee. I'm co-founder and I guess you'd say general manager of the music room.
Can you please tell us what makes the music room so special?
Well, this may take a while.
That's okay.
Primarily, we are a musical instrument lending library. Same idea as a regular library, but instruments instead of books. And we accept donations of instruments from the public. We have a total of 6 volunteers. There's my wife Judy and myself who run the physical day-to-day operations. And we have 6 volunteers who keep the instruments maintained and repaired and in good working condition. We have a band instrument volunteer. We have 2 people that work on guitars. Let's see, I hope we don't leave anybody out. We have a bowed instrument volunteer. That would be violins. We have 3 cellos. We have any number of violins. We have a couple of violas. Even have an upright bass. So they're very, very fussy instruments. They take a lot of TLC, and you really couldn't do bowed instruments without a dedicated volunteer. And we have a person in the metro area, because when we do have money to buy instruments, we buy used, and there are far more for sale, and the prices are better in HRM. So we have a person who negotiates the purchases and picks them up and pays for them for us. And then once every few months, I'll go up and pick things up.
That's pretty amazing,
Yeah,
Dave.
yeah. And we also have a young guy who's just a wizard with electronics, because home recording is a big thing now, and keyboards, synthesizers, anything electronic. Amplifiers have computers in them now. They're sound modeling amplifiers that are very complex. And we have a young guy, he just started with us in the last year or so. He took Nova Scotia Institute of Technology, I think it's called. There's a course there, which with all things electronic and electrical, and he's just a wizard with that kind of thing. So if we have a
That's
problem,
nice that you have that much help.
yeah. Oh, you couldn't do it without the volunteers. You sincerely could not. I mean, things come in that need to be repaired. You may be a perfectly good guitar, but what's called the action, the height of the strings are way up. So there are 3 different ways that guitars are adjusted to bring the action back down. Beyond me, so if we didn't have those volunteers, even something as basic as guitars wouldn't be possible. So it really is, it takes a village.
What would you say is the most popular instrument that people ask to borrow?
So there are 4. Guitar would be number 1, followed by ukuleles would be number 2. Keyboards would be 3, violins would be 4, and then if you want to go to number 5, it would probably be drums. After that, things like band instruments, and there are just any number of miscellaneous things that you wouldn't even think of that we have here. We have several fairly extensive xylophones. We have 2 full-size accordions, and we have a concertina, for example. Oh, golly. I could go on and on. It would be a bit of an exaggeration to say we have one of everything, but we do have quite a big, much bigger variety than I ever thought we would have.
Well, you have like acoustic guitars, you have electric guitars, I see.
Guitars are number 1. We have acoustic, electric, and bass. We have 7 bass guitars now. We have, I think there are 1, 2, 3, there are 4 in at the moment. We have an acoustic electric. We have a short scale bass for a smaller adult person or a child can use, and this is kind of a poor person's copy of Paul McCartney's bass, and it's kind of an interesting old thing. And of course they all have an amplifier, and depending on how much noise you want to make, we can go right up to. This is a 100-watt bass amp. This will make enough noise, but we actually have a 250-watt bass amp as well.
Wow.
Plus several of the smaller ones, 25, 50 watts, and then a 15-watt practice bass amp. So if anyone wants to try bass, we can outfit them with whatever level of gear they would like to have.
That's pretty amazing. That's quite remarkable.
The community's been incredibly generous. I think musicians are by nature generous people. When you think of, who's the first to show up at a benefit if some poor soul has cancer or something and money's being raised, there are always musicians that volunteer to play. You have the smaller churches that can't afford to pay an organist or choir director. You have volunteers in churches. They're just, who goes to the old folks home and entertains musicians.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
I think they're by nature, musicians are generally generous, and they like the concept, and oftentimes it is musicians who will donate their excess or their older instruments as they upgrade, and again, our volunteers take over and we put them back in top shape and put them back out into the community.
I noticed you have a lot of drums.
Yes.
Well.
That was a real revelation. Drums are not cheap, and of course, if you have a child who wants to play drums, it's a fairly big investment. So what do? Well, if you know about us, you come here and you borrow a kit, either an acoustic kit. If you have a glance over here, this is one of 3 electronic or digital kits. And I think in total we have 10 kits. I think there are 4 or 5 that are out on loan at the moment. And here there are perhaps 3 or 4 plus a lot of parts that eventually we have enough parts to do another kit. When they're all here, it's a tight squeeze, and I think I would have to think very long and hard before accepting another. As hard as it would be to turn it down, I don't think we could accept another donation of a drum kit. We have now 8 full-size keyboards with weighted keys. See, there are so many families that want to put their kids into piano lessons, but they just can't afford the piano. And they particularly can't afford it if little Johnny or little Susie's going to give up after a month. They can't go out and spend $1,000 on an electric piano. You can get You can get an old-fashioned acoustic piano for free, but you have to find a way to move it and you have to keep it tuned. So
Yeah, exactly.
the preferred instrument now for piano lessons is the digital or electric piano, and we have 8 now, and obviously the other 5 are out on loan. These are more recent ones since lessons have started, but the goal is to have 12 by the time lessons start again in September. So we need another 4 to meet that goal.
Have people been asking for?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
They if these had been available in September, they'd be gone. They would be out.
Amazing.
They would be out on loan now. We also have about 18 keyboards, including 2 or 3 really high-end ones, and we have a really nice we have 2 synthesizers. This is a synthesizer. And that big Yamaha down there is a beautiful instrument. It's about a $1,500 instrument. And it's another example of how generous people are. It came from a lady who belonged to her late husband, and she just felt like he would have loved the concept of the music room, and she thought it was the right thing to do to donate his keyboard.
Gave it to you. Wow.
She gave it to us,
That's amazing.
Yeah,
Dave.
so it's a really good opportunity for an experienced keyboard player who may be considering a synthesizer.
Right.
But again, am I going to use it that much? Am I going to love it? Do I run out and spend $1,000 or $1,500? You know, if you can borrow one first, it's very helpful.
Right. I also see that you have a what's that called?
Accordion.
Weird Al plays the accordion.
Yes, yeah. We actually have 2 of those.
Oh, you do?
Plus we have a concertina, a little...
Oh, okay.
Yep.
A concertina.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we have, and well, as you can see here too, sound gear. We have complete PA systems. We will provide a PA system for a fundraiser or a community event, as long as it's not a money-making operation. We don't want to take away from the local music store who rents PA gear.
Sure, yeah.
But we also like to support young people, and quite often boys are famous for starting bands. There are some girls in bands, but it's more a boy thing. Every boy, as soon as he knows 3 chords, starts a band.
They get excited.
And if they get a chance to play somewhere, you know, they never have PA gear. I remember being in garage bands and plugging a microphone into a guitar amplifier, and believe me, it's less than ideal. So we have 3 complete PA systems now that we lend out to young people and for community events as well. So if you're church or organization or whatever it is having an educational or some kind of a community event, and you want to come here and be set up with microphones and a PA system, we can cover you, including in a fairly large hall. We have some fairly extensive gear as well.
So when people want to borrow like microphones or the soundboard, for example, do they have to do you give them like a time limit for how long they can?
Yeah. So those kinds of loans tend to be date specific. You know, we're having an event on July the 10th. Can you provide us with a PA system? So they maybe come and get it the day before and give them a little tutorial on how to run it. If it's for kids and they need it to practice for couple weeks or even a month, we would do that as well. But
they have to give you a time, like an idea.
Yeah, our loans, by the way, are generally 3 months. So the standard loan is 3 months. The full size pianos for the lessons are longer. It is a 1 season thing. We can't provide you with a piano for 5 years, but if you want to start your child with piano lessons and you want to make sure that they're actually going to work at it, we'll cover you for 1 season, then you bring it back and we'd expect you to have your own for the next season.
That makes sense.
And the piano would go
that makes sense
else.
To do that, yeah.
But the standard loan, other than that, is 3 months, and depending on demand, if no one's waiting for the instrument that they've borrowed, I will extend it another month or 2 after that. So total of 5 months unless someone's waiting.
Well, that's great, Dave. Yeah. Oh my goodness, that's fantastic. Wow, we're so proud of you. What can we say? That's what you do for the community.
I love it. You couldn't talk me into not doing it. So,
well, thank you, Dave. Thank you so much. This is awesome. I think it is so nice what you're doing. Like, it's wonderful for the community and for anybody who might not be able to afford to buy their own instrument right now. Like, it's nice that you have such a lending spirit.
Well, you know, when you discover community service, you realize that it's not only for everyone else, it's for you as well. I'm very passionate about this work. I love it, and they will carry me out of here feet first, and as long as I possibly can, I'll keep up with the work. And what it's done for me, it's given my life direction and a sense of purpose. When I get up in the morning, I have no question about what I'm meant to do in life. I'm meant to help people start their musical journey.
Well, thank you so much, Dave. I think you're doing something absolutely fantastic for the community, and you're such a good person, and your wife is so nice too. We're just thank you so much for your time today and for this interview. We appreciate it.
You're entirely welcome.
Thank you, Dave. That's wonderful.